People fly planes for different reasons. Some of these reasons are purely selfish.
I used to be a tax collector and I was losing all my friends, so I decided to fly, fly airplanes and get them all back.
Other reasons are as simple as, it's cool. And what could be cooler than to fly in a plane that not only opened up Canada's Great White North to exploration and expansion, but became a Canadian legend at the same time? The Bush plane. Not so long ago, this machine was the only way to get you around the north of this country. It was designed specifically to get you and your gear into places that you have absolutely no business being. You can land it on lakes, you can land it on rivers, put skis on it, land it on the snow, big wheels, land it on a tundra field. It's designed to get you places other machines just can't go. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you the Bush plane and her pilot. G'day, Owen.
Hey.
Hey. How's it going?
Not bad, yourself?
Good.
Good.
It's like I want to go camping. I want to go far away from the city and from people.
Any place in particular?
Someplace completely inaccessible.
Perfect, I got the perfect place, let's go.
Bush planes have been called the pickup truck of the sky because of their ability to transport people and their supplies over vast tracts of really, really rugged land. For a lot of, well, be careful with those. For a lot of people in northern communities, these kinds of planes were really their only practical way of getting supplies in from the modern world. Got it in there? Let's go. You gonna let me fly this on?
No.
Excellent. Can I put,
Watch your head, there's a wing there.
All right. Oh, it's gonna be a bit of a Ukrainian gymnast to get in here. So, how do you drive this thing? How does it work?
Pretty simple, actually. You're three-dimensional, so you have 3 axes.
Right?
So you have yaw, pitch, and roll.
Yeah, pitch and roll.
That's the one. So you got the rudder pedals on the ground there. They're for
down here.
yaw.
That's yaw.
Yeah, so left and right basically turns you sideways, left and right.
Left, right. That is that's the tail, right?
That's correct.
The rudder.
Second one, pitch, which is controlled by the elevator. That's the yoke right there. So you pull back to go up.
Pull back.
That's it.
It's hard not to make the sound. Do you just sit in the plane sometimes and just pull on the yoke and make the sound?
No.
I don't do that either.
And push forward, it'll bring you down.
Probably here is good, huh?
Yeah, somewhere around there would keep you level. And the ailerons.
Okay, is this left or right?
Left and right. It'll drop one wing, raise the other,
Right
and
on.
turn you in the direction you want to go.
So, how long have you been flying, Owen?
This will be my 3rd trip.
It's very important that these planes take off and land in very short spaces because a lot of the places they're flying into, they're landing on landlocked lakes, very tiny landlocked lakes. And the last thing you want to do is run out of lake. And this is what makes the Bush plane so exceptional. Short takeoff and landing. That is short. And what makes this all possible? Specially designed wings. Perhaps not surprisingly, it's the wing that creates lift for the plane to fly. Now bear with me as I stumble through this next technical bit. The wing must create lift for the plane to fly. When airflow comes in contact with the nose of the wing, the airflow splits. Some of the air travels under the wing. Now, a common misconception is that the airflow impacting the underside of the wing is what is creating the main lift. That's not right. In fact, only about 20% of the lift is caused by a positive force under the wing. The business side of the wing is the top side. When the air travels over the leading edge and continues along the top surface of the wing, it accelerates. This acceleration creates a negative pressure that acts like an upward suction effect on the wing. To achieve a short takeoff and landing known in the biz as a stall, a bush plane must be traveling at a slow speed, but still fast enough for the wings to generate lift. This is accomplished with something called the Fowler flaps. Some bush planes have specially designed stall wings that further increase lift. These wings are thicker than those designed for cruise performance. They achieve additional lift and reduce speed by using the ailerons, the pilot's banking mechanism, as extended flaps on the wing's trailing edge. The ailerons act in the same manner as the flaps, slowing the plane and increasing the negative pressure over the wing. But, in so doing, the pilot loses banking stability. A larger rudder is used to compensate this effect. Two bush planes, which are specially designed for stall flight, are the Canadian-made de Havilland Beaver and the Otter.
I've been flying bush planes for 28 years. I used to be a tax collector and I was losing all my friends, so I decided to fly airplanes and get them all back.
Even though I started with my father and he trained me on bush flying 16, 17 years ago. And I was fortunate enough to go and fly helicopters and fly fixed-wing aircraft. But something pulled me back to the bush flying. You know, it's such a special machine. The Beaver and the Otter are the ultimate in bush planes.
George and Michael Veilleux are a father and son bush flying team. Their charter company, Hearst Air Service, operates in the northern regions of Ontario. My father and I used to play catch. George and Michael do fun father-son things like transporting supplies to mining exploration camps in the middle of nowhere.
Payload varies widely on the distance you have to go, but for the distance we'll be going today, it's 2,300 pounds.
Beaver, Bravo Tango uniform is taxiing for departure on runway 10 at Kerry Lake.
This plane still represents the top of the line in bush plane design and technology. Even though it's over 40 years old, this old Beaver is so rugged and well made that it's still in service today. When I'm 40, I hope I still have a little lift left in the old wings.
Flying on a beautiful day like today is the rewarding parts of flying any type of aircraft, whether it be a helicopter, or airplane, or a bush plane, but to fly over the wilderness, which is completely inhabited. Great place to be.
Bush flying began in Canada after the First World War, and many of the original bush planes were converted military aircraft. Fighter planes. Most of the early bush plane pilots were men who had recently returned from World War I, men like May. I think I have a picture actually here. Oh yeah. Here we go. There's Wap. You can see Owen, right? I'm not blocking your vision. You know May?
No,
You don't know May?
I don't actually know.
Well, that's Wap and his plane. Despite the fact that Owen has never heard of him, May was a decorated fighter pilot during the war who once even survived an attack by the notorious Red Baron. Upon his return to Canada, May used his flying skills to help pioneer Canadian aviation. He flew the first mail run to the Arctic in 1928, and just to keep things lively, undertook many a daring rescue operation, like flying a diphtheria serum to the otherwise inaccessible northern community of Fort Vermilion in 1929. In just a few short years, the North had been opened up by the bush plane and her pilot. When you're way the hell out in the middle of nowhere with the nearest convenience store a few hundred kilometers away, the drone of an approaching bush plane sounds like music. Like this kind of music.
It's obviously a very good sound to hear. And it's, you know that if the plane can get in, it's obviously going to get out.
They just left the skis down, so we'll be landing on skis.
but landing flaps. We're going to be touching the lake in a few seconds.
Bush pilots need special skills to get supplies into remote places like this. And besides the usual, do we have enough gas kind of questions that all pilots should ask, bush pilots also have to ask questions like, is that ice thick enough?
What makes the Otter such an excellent STOL aircraft, I can make an approach of around 60 to 65 miles an hour here.
That slow approach enables Michael to make a smooth landing on a 750-foot long lake. That is a short landing.
This is an exploration camp where we're doing exploration for diamonds, and we use the airplanes to mobilize in our camp and our equipment. So we'll use the Otter, which is the bigger plane, to move in the drill, and the drill parts in itself will weigh 22,000 pounds, which will take 10 loads with the Otter to move it in.
The pilot decision making is a very big part of bush flying.
You have to be able to make your own decisions. You know, you get to a spot like this, you got to decide whether you're going to land or not. Know your limits.
It gives you a great confidence when you're flying with any pilot that works in the bush. They're going to be the captain that's going to take you and bring you back safely.
These planes are born of a time that could be called the golden age of bush flight. Up, up, and away. Bush plane technology took off after the Second World War as the bush plane entered its golden age. This was the era of the de Havilland Beaver and Otter.
This is de Havilland Beaver, and it was built in 1948. I'm just gazing up in fond remembrance. We used to take great pride in keeping the propellers polished, nice and shiny. That was sort of your mark of excellency.
For 20 years, de Havilland have led the aviation world in developing a special kind of aircraft, a rugged utility transport to carry a good load economically, even from places where the only landing strip is a patch of unprepared ground, a short stretch of water, or a frozen lake.
This is the de Havilland Otter, big brother of the Beaver over there, and I might say one of my most favorite airplanes. I spent many hours flying these. It was capable of carrying 10 passengers, and Beaver was frequently referred to as a half-ton pickup. This was the one-ton truck. Very frequently when you would arrive in a northern community, say half the town would show up to find out what you had. I can recall a situation, the town of Muskrat Dam were expecting a satellite dish for TV Ontario. We arrived in there with the Twin Otter, and the entire community was there because they thought I had the satellite dish on board. Turned out I had a politician instead, and they were very disappointed.
Bush planes had come a long way, but they would be nothing without the pilots that flew them. Pilots, like Owen here. It's okay if I put my arm here, right? Sure. Okay, I just don't want to make you mad. No, you don't want that. Or uncomfortable.
Bush pilots traveled huge distances flying across massive expanses of the north. They were completely alone. They had to endure treacherous weather conditions and travel unknown routes. Self-reliance was a necessity. You know what? You could say that they were Canada's last frontiersmen.
I believe that the earlier bush pilots tend to be a lot more adventuresome because they had to paddle their own canoe often. There's frequent stories about whittling propellers out of raw wood, or mending a ski with raw material, or frozen leather. Had to do their own maintenance, their own fueling, as well as making up their own maps.
Literally flying by the seat of their pants, the ability to improvise and to adapt to rapidly changing conditions is just as important to a pilot today as it was in the early days.
About flying, I've always found it to be very, very challenging and changing. Requires a lot of adaptability. And the challenges never seem to be totally mastered. It's not an occupation that I can relax and get complacent about.
Ted is test flying a Bush Hawk, fresh off the assembly line of Found Aircraft Manufacturing, Canada's last remaining maker of bush planes.
The primary mission of the Bush Hawk is a rugged bush plane, typically used to take a couple of hunters or fishermen into the bush with all their gear to a hunting lodge or fishing lodge. This wing is a compromise between a STOL type wing and a cruise wing, a wing that's designed for high-speed cruise.
The Bush Hawk's uniquely shaped wing is designed to get people in their gear where they want to go as fast as possible, while still allowing for short takeoffs and landings.
The other part that's required on a bush plane is you need a really rugged base for everything to attach to. And what we have is a steel tube fuselage. Similar to what you have in a Formula One racing car. Same idea, you've got a chrome moly steel tube cage. We've designed the airplane with two large doors on either side at the back for easy loading. You can fold the seats down, allowing easy access to a large cargo area in the back, which you can use for carrying sleeping bags, hunting rifles, fishing gear, food, beer, if that's so desired.
A recent addition to bush plane technology is the navigation system. What was once done by compass and map reading has been replaced by Satellite Global Positioning Systems, or GPS, which I think is just short for Global Positioning Systems.
Now we haven't got any excuse for getting lost anymore. What I'm doing is just flying over our landing area and just checking for anything that could cause us a hazard on a landing, such as any debris in the water. I've satisfied myself that it's clear for landing. Coming around now to line up with the landing area. Lower some flaps to help slow the airplane down a little bit. Okay, we're all set for landing.
Being an amphibious aircraft, many of the operations the aircraft goes through are taking off and landing on runways or just on an open lake or river. It really broadens the variety of situations that I'm exposed to in the aircraft.
We're down.
Water plays an important role in today's bush plane, and not just because you can land on it, but because of what the bush plane can do with it. The bush plane's early role as a frontier vehicle has changed dramatically. An expanding network of roads in the north, plus the use of the helicopter, has slowly led to a decrease in the use of the bush plane. But there is one job that is still done best from a plane, and that is firebombing.
This is one of the earliest versions of our water bomb systems. These tanks were affixed to the floats in time of fire. So we would land and taxi across the top of the water at high speed, which would cause the tanks to fill up, overflowing. Then you would force the aircraft into the air with additional power. Then upon reaching the fire area, you selected the lever. It caused the tank to roll and release the water onto the fire. Upon releasing the lever, the tanks would roll back to the upright spot and lock themselves, ready for the next load. We've gone from this style of tank to aircraft that are specialized water bombers that do nothing else but water bombing.
Today's CL-415 is the largest firebombing plane in Canada. This plane represents the natural evolution of bush flight. Like its early predecessor, the Beaver, it is designed to be able to land in and take off from small lakes. But the CL-415 can pick up a lot more water, 5,400 liters of it, and in only 10 seconds. These planes with their retractable wheels are well suited to operate on the increasing number of airfields that now connect the north with the rest of Canada. The bush plane's pioneering days of discovery and adventure have been replaced by the somewhat less romantic role of resource management. The bush plane has become all business, and the main business? Transporting tourists. Fly-in tourism is a growing industry in the north. Many operators cater to people like me who are looking to experience some of the great Canadian wilderness.
Very smooth, Owen. Now, could you spin it? Could you spin it so you could shorten the landing? Like just crank it hard? Nah, you'd flip it. Don't need that. That's it, I'm steering it.
So now I am steering the plane. Look at me now. Yaha. Oh. This looks a little better, Owen.
Yeah, watch your step.
This is more in line with what I was thinking. Can you throw my stuff out to me? I'm ready for it. Yeah, be careful with this. Nice. Supplies. Probably not a lot of people going solo, I guess, out into the
Not too many. You get the odd one.
Yeah. Well, I needed this, so. Right on. Thank you, Owen.
You're welcome.
For the lift, and we'll see you when?
A couple of weeks. Sound good?
Yeah, 10 days.
Perfect.
Week or so, 5 days to be even.
Have a nice trip.
All right.
All right, see ya.
So I guess I'll just see you right here.
Yeah, perfect.
You know, no one can argue that the bush plane is it's a truly fantastic machine. I mean, how else could I get myself out here in the middle of nowhere with next to no gear, no shelter, now that I think about it? Regretting a little bit, neglecting to bring the tent. You know, all hardships aside, it's just, I think it's so damn important to just get out of the city once in a while. Get out, get back to nature, sort of find yourself in the middle of nowhere,